Welcome to the Tangerine screencast. Tangerine is an application for capturing literacy and math skills for children. We're at the login screen now. I'm going to go ahead and log in. This now shows me various assessments that are available. We're going to look at this EGRA assessment. This is a literacy assessment based on tools that were used in the Gambia. First thing that we see here is the date time screen, which captures the current date and time. It also allows us to create a new student identifier. If the student already had taken another test and we wanted to link their tests, we could put in that student identifier right here. But we're just going to use the one that was created already. Now we need to put in the school that they attend. By putting in a character, it will give us some suggestions so we don't have to spend a lot of time typing in extra information. Next, we're going to answer some information about the students and the class that they're in, their gender, some basic demographic information. So now we're on the letters page. The letters page is a page that will correspond with a piece of paper in front of the student. The enumerator will press start after reading these instructions out to the student. A timer starts counting down, and we are supposed to go through and click the letters that the child gets wrong. So say we're down here at this F, and they say F, X, B, Y, J, O, B. You just click it when they get it wrong. As soon as the timer counts down, the screen will flash, but we're going to stop the timer early so we don't waste your time. We then mark how far the student got before they ran out of time, and then we go on to the next subtest. Now we're on the phonemes subtest. Phonemes is just where they have to identify the phonemes in the word up. Up, there's two phonemes. What are the two phonemes? And p. So that's how this subtest works. Again, this corresponds precisely with the paper instrument that has been used in other places around the world. Now we're on the familiar words page. This is similar to letters, where they just have to read out these words. Stop, go, us, run, beast, at, half, and so on. So we're going to, again, stop it and jump to the end of that subtest. Go on to the next one, invented words. Same thing as before, but now these are funny made-up words. Bab, rup, wug, mim, dop, and so on. So again, we're just going through and testing the child. Now they're actually reading a story. Modu wakes up very early. Today is the first day of, what is this word? They got that one wrong, so we're going to mark it off. Again, we're going to stop the timer. This time we're going to say that the student only got about halfway through this story. This is important because on the next screen, we're doing reading comprehension, where we need to ask questions based on the story that they just read. But we want to make sure that we don't ask any questions that the child hadn't gotten to in the story. So there's only 3 questions that are displaying. If they would have gotten further along in the story, more questions would come up here. So this is sort of dynamic, a dynamic way to choose which questions are available, which ensures good data quality. So now we've got listening comprehension, where the enumerator is going to read this story out. Pat lives on a farm with his family, so on and so forth, and then has to answer questions based on the story that they just heard. Dictation, so there's a dictation section. Mike is great. That's me, Mike. And now we've got our pupil context interview. This is quite long, so I'm going to try and go through it as quickly as possible. But the idea is you want to capture a lot of different extra demographic information about each student so that you can determine what the impacts of, say, having a video or DVD player on are on their literacy skills. So that's part of the data analysis that RTI performs with this tool. And like I said, there are a lot of questions here. And if we try and skip one of these questions, Tangerine is going to stop us because Tangerine only allows for fully completed tests to be captured. That's one of the big advantages of using a computer system to capture data, is that it can ensure that you have good data quality. So for instance, I'm not going to answer this last one, And if I click yes, it's going to remind me that I have not completed this last question. So I've now clicked yes, and we can go on and finish. This is the end of that assessment. We've got a very brief summary page that just gives the enumerator a chance to see what how their results came out, so they kind of feel like the right things were captured. That's it for capturing data with Tangerine.